They slashed my worth. I rewrote theirs. My name is Mark Ellison. I'm 47, a marketing strategist in Boston. I've always been steady, thoughtful, diligent, reserved. My world felt solid, until those I trusted shattered it. From that moment, I stopped waiting for justice and started creating it. The Boston office of Pinnacle Strategies buzzed with morning energy, my desk a fortress of campaign drafts, and a worn leather notebook from my first year. At 47, I'd spent a decade as a marketing strategist, my campaigns driving Pinnacle's brand to new heights. Laura, the CEO, would stop by, her smile warm, tossing ideas for our next big pitch. "Mark, you're my secret weapon," she'd say, her coffee mug clinking against mine. My wife, Sarah, texted from home, proud of my latest award, her photo pinned beside my monitor. Mornings were coffee runs with Laura, our talks about market trend a ritual. I saw my future here, leading campaigns, Laura's trust a cornerstone. This is my place, I thought, my pen gliding over a new ad sketch, Boston's hum steady outside. I didn't see the fracture forming. Laura leaned on my desk often, her laugh easy, praising my latest campaign that doubled client leads. "You're the backbone, Mark," she'd say, and I'd nod. My loyalty is solid as my data-driven pitches. My team relied on me, their reports sharpened by my feedback, their respect earned through late nights perfecting ads. I'd call Sarah, her voice bright, sharing my latest win, her pride echoing my own. The office thrived, my campaigns landing major clients, Laura's praise a constant. I picture myself rising, maybe a VP, with Laura's mentorship. "You're building something lasting," I told myself, my notebook open, its worn edges a testament to my grind. Laura's tone shifted subtly one afternoon, her eyes flicking to her phone during our pitch meeting. "Good work, Mark, but let's pivot," she said, vague, dismissing my detailed plan. I brushed it off, my focus on a new campaign, but her distance lingered. Fewer coffee runs, more closed-door calls. Colleagues whispered about new blood, their glances odd. I kept working, my charts precise, my team steady, but a chill settled. Something's off, I thought, my fingers tracing Sarah's photo, her smile a quiet anchor. I didn't push Laura. I stayed calm, my marketing mind logging her pauses, her evasions, like data points in a trend I couldn't yet name. They were rewriting my place without me. The unease grew, a quiet ache beneath my routine. I didn't confront Laura or demand answers. I sat in my office, my notebook's leather creased, and thought of Sarah, her trust in my career, and the decade I'd poured into Pinnacle. Every campaign, every late night, every nod from Laura. "They think you're set," I told myself, my charts spread out, the offices on a soft pulse. But my strategist's mind, trained to spot shifts, cataloged Laura's distance, her clipped words, her closed doors. I didn't argue. I watched, my silence a shield, my loyalty a weight I still carried. "You trusted her," I thought, my pen steady. "You were wrong." I stood by my office window, Boston's skyline a faint outline, and felt the first crack in the life I'd built. Laura's vague dismissals, the team's whispers, were threads unraveling my foundation. I didn't move or speak. I cataloged every moment, every slight, my mind already sketching a response I couldn't yet name. "They don't see it yet," I thought, my reflection calm in the glass. "But they will." The office lights dimmed, and I knew my next move waited, silent and precise, in the stillness I'd always kept. The morning light spilled across my desk at Pinnacle Strategies, my worn leather notebook open beside a cooling coffee mug. At 47, I'd spent a decade as a marketing strategist, my campaigns the pulse of Boston's competitive scene. Laura, the CEO, still dropped by, but her warmth felt thinner, her eyes often on her son, Ethan, newly hired as strategic consultant. I'd smile, my tie crisp, as she praised my latest ad push, but her focus drifted to Ethan's vague ideas. My wife, Sarah, texted about our weekend plans, proud of my steady climb. I kept crafting pitches, my team leaning on my expertise. "This is your domain," I thought, my pen sketching a new campaign, the offices was a familiar rhythm. Something was shifting beneath my feet. Laura's favoritism grew sharper. At a team briefing, she cut me off mid-pitch. "Ethan's got a fresh angle, Mark." He fumbled through a recycled idea. My idea from weeks ago. Yet she nodded, her smile bright for him. "Great start, Ethan," she said, my contribution ignored. Colleagues exchanged glances, their silence loud. I kept my face calm, my pen steady, but my marketing mind, wired for patterns, log her bias, her dismissal. I thought of Sarah, her trust in my career, and the years I'd given Pinnacle. "She's sidelining you," I told myself, my fingers brushing her photo, its frame a quiet anchor. They thought I wouldn't see the shift. The office felt different. Laura's meetings with Ethan multiplied, her door closed, her coffee runs with me gone. I overheard a colleague whisper, "Ethan's the future, Mark's old news." The sting was subtle, a slow burn in my chest. I kept working, my campaign sharp, landing clients despite Ethan's clumsy input. At a client dinner, Laura praised Ethan's vision, my role reduced to a nod. I smiled, my tie neat, but the unease grew. "They're rewriting your place," I thought, my notebook open, its pages heavy with notes. I didn't challenge her or argue. I cataloged every slight, her favoritism, their whispers, like data points in a campaign I hadn't yet launched. I sat in my office, the mug steam fading, and let the doubt settle. Laura's preference for Ethan wasn't just maternal. It was a choice, a crack in the trust I'd built over a decade. I thought of Sarah, her pride in my work, and the campaigns I crafted to lift Pinnacle. I didn't confront Laura or demand credit. My mind, trained to spot market shifts, saw her actions as a pattern. Her bias, Ethan's unearned spotlight. "They think you're replaceable," I told myself, my reflection steady in my monitor's glow. "You're not." I needed only my skills, my patience, and the quiet ledger of their slights, growing heavier each day. The office hum softened, and I knew my response waited, precise and unspoken, in the silence I'd always held. The faint hum of my computer filled my Boston office at Pinnacle Strategies, my worn leather notebook resting beside Sarah's photo. At 47, I'd given a decade as a marketing strategist, my campaigns the lifeblood of the firm. Laura, the CEO, had grown distant, her focus on her son, Ethan, but I trusted our history. She called me to her office, her usual warmth gone, her hands gripping a folder. "Mark, we're cutting your salary in half," she said, her voice cold. "It's to fund Ethan's new role." The word struck like a quiet storm, shredding years of loyalty. I sat, my tie straight, my face calm, the office's buzz muffled. "She betrayed you," I thought, my pulse even but heavy. My decade of work was erased. I didn't blink. "Why me?" I asked, my tone steady, searching for the Laura who'd praised my campaigns. She looked away, muttering, "It's for the company's growth." Ethan's shadow loomed, unspoken but clear. Colleagues lingered outside, their murmurs low, already aligning with her. I thought of Sarah, her trust in my stability, and the pitches I'd crafted for Pinnacle. I stood, my nod curt, and walked out, my steps deliberate, her betrayal a blade sinking deep. "She chose him over you," I told myself, passing my desk, Sarah's photo a silent sting. They thought I'd accept it without a fight. The office felt foreign as I sat at my desk, my notebook untouched, my coffee mug cold. Colleagues I'd guided now avoided my eyes. Their talk centered on Ethan's fresh ideas. I overheard one say, "Mark's out of the loop now." The wound was sharp, layered atop Laura's cut. I didn't argue or raise my voice. My marketing mind, trained to spot shifts, logged every detail. Her flat excuse, their quick allegiance, like metrics in a campaign I hadn't yet launched. I thought of Sarah, her pride in my work, and the years I'd given Pinnacle. "They think you're finished," I told myself, my pen still, the offices distant. I stood by my desk, Boston's faint city pulse outside, and let the betrayal settle, a deep crack beneath my composure. Laura's company's growth echoed, each word a dismissal of my decade. Every late night, every winning pitch, every nod from her. I didn't call Sarah or confront Laura. My mind, honed for strategy, saw their flaws, her favoritism, Ethan's unearned role, as leverage. "They think you're broken," I thought, my reflection steady in my monitor's glow. You're not. I needed only my skills, my patience, and the silent vow taking shape, a promise to turn their rejection into my strength. The office grew quiet, and I knew my next move waited, precise and unspoken, in the stillness I'd always held. My Boston apartment was quiet, the glow of my laptop casting shadows over my leather notebook and Sarah's photo. At 47, Laura's betrayal, cutting my salary as Pinnacle Strategies marketing strategist to fund her son Ethan's role, stung like a hidden wound. Her excuse, it's for the company's growth, dismissed my decade of campaigns. I kept up appearances, pitching freelance projects, my presentation sharp for clients. Colleagues' messages slowed. Rough one, Mark. Their invites now went to Ethan, their laughter tied to his unearned rise. I didn't confront them. My tie stayed neat, my face composed, the city's hum a soft backdrop. They've turned from you, I thought, my breath even but heavy. My world broke, and they didn't notice. The isolation deepened. At a Boston marketing mixer, I saw colleagues I'd trained applaud Ethan's vague pitches, my name left out. He's Laura's future, one murmured, their eyes passing over me. I stood by the bar, my drink untouched, my smile tight, the sting a quiet rift splitting wider. I thought of Sarah, her faith in my stability, and the campaigns I'd built for Pinnacle. I didn't argue or chase their loyalty. My marketing mind, wired for trends, logged their dismissal. Ethan's spotlight, their allegiance, like metrics in a plan I hadn't yet shaped. They're blind to you now, I told myself, my fingers brushing Sarah's photo, its frame a steady anchor. They didn't know I was already planning. Nights grew heavier. Alone, I honed freelance campaigns, my expertise keeping me afloat, my apartment a fortress of silence. Ethan's LinkedIn posts, boasting about Pinnacle's new era, erased my work. Colleagues shared his updates, their silence a second betrayal. I didn't reach out or lash out. I thought of Sarah, her pride in my craft, and the decade I'd given, every pitch, every late night. They've written you off, I told myself, my pen still, the apartment's quiet hum a shield. I cataloged every slight, his unearned praise, their disloyalty, like points in a campaign I was starting to see. I stood by my kitchen counter, Boston's lights dim through the blinds, and let the pain settle, a deep ache carving space for something new. Laura's betrayal, her colleague's abandonment, wasn't just loss, it was clarity. I didn't call Sarah, not wanting to dim her trust. My mind, honed for strategy, saw their flaws, her favoritism, their blind faith in Ethan, as leverage. They think you're broken, I thought, my reflection steady in the window's glass. You're not. I needed only my skills, my patience, and the silent plan taking shape, a vow to turn their rejection into my strength. The city's pulse steadied, and I knew my next move waited, precise and quiet, in the stillness I'd always held. The quiet of my Boston study wrapped around me, my pen's soft scratch on my leather notebook echoing beside Sarah's photo. Laura's decision to slash my salary as Pinnacle Strategies marketing strategist to fund her son Ethan's role was a wound that didn't break me. Her justification, it's for the company's growth, sparked a fire. I took freelance gigs, my campaign sharp, keeping me steady. My mind, honed to spot market flaws, zeroed in on Pinnacle's cracks. Ethan's weak pitches, Laura's skewed priorities. I didn't confront her or boast. I sat, my tie loose, plotting a comeback, my notes charting their downfall. She dismissed you, I thought, my pulse even, the city's hum a faint pulse outside. I was building a plan they couldn't see. I probed Pinnacle's weaknesses. Client reports showed Ethan's campaigns failing, budgets bloated, problems I'd once fixed. Using a burner email, I fed tips to industry blogs, hinting at mismanagement without leaving my name. I pitched my own marketing framework to rival firms, its efficiency drawing interest, my reputation growing. Mark, you're a strategist, a client said, unaware of my aim. My mind logged every detail. Ethan's missteps, Laura's blind loyalty, like metrics for a campaign I was crafting. They're exposed, I told myself. My pen sketching a rival's proposal, Sarah's photo a steady anchor. They didn't feel the ground shifting. My strategy sharpened. I met investors in quiet cafes. My pitches tight. My savings funneled into a growing fund. Blogs hummed with Pinnacle's stumbles. My tips stirring doubt. Ethan's LinkedIn post turned defensive. Laura's quieter, but they didn't suspect me. At a marketing summit, I saw Ethan, his confidence shaky, pitching recycled ideas to unimpressed clients. I stood in the shadows, my tie neat, unseen. My framework gained traction, a rival firm signing on, my name circling Boston's ad scene. I didn't gloat or tip my hand. They're unraveling, I thought, my notebook dense with plans, my study's silence a fortress. I stood by my desk, Boston's glow soft through the curtains, and felt the sting of Laura's actions harden into purpose. I thought of Sarah, her trust in my craft, and the decade I'd poured into Pinnacle. Every pitch, every late night. I didn't need Laura's regret or Ethan's fear. My mind, trained to outsmart markets, saw their flaws, her bias, his incompetence, as my leverage. They think you're gone, I thought, my reflection steady in the lamp's light. You're rising. I needed only my expertise, my patience, and the silent blueprint unfolding. A plan to eclipse their firm, not with anger, but with the precision of a strategy I'd perfected. The city's hum steadied, and I knew my next move waited, calculated and quiet. The soft clink of my coffee mug settled on my Boston desk. My leather notebook opened beside Sarah's photo, its frame catching the morning light. Laura's decision to have my salary as Pinnacle Strategies marketing strategist for her son Ethan's role had lit a fire I channeled into action. I'd built a lean marketing framework for freelance clients, its success drawing rival firms. My mind, sharpened by a decade of outsmarting markets, targeted Pinnacle's cracks, Ethan's failed campaigns, Laura's blind favoritism. I didn't confront her or gloat. I worked in silence, my tie loose, my notes mapping their unraveling. She dismissed you, I thought, my pulse steady, the city's rhythm a quiet hum outside. I struck first, and they didn't see. My move was precise. Using a burner email, I leaked Ethan's campaign flops to industry blogs, linking them to Pinnacle's losses without naming myself. The post spread, clients questioning Ethan's vision. My framework, pitched to a rival firm, Apex Media, won a major contract, pulling Pinnacle's clients. Mark, you're redefining the game, an Apex exec said, unaware of my target. My strategist's mind cataloged their weaknesses, Ethan's stumbles, Laura's bias, like metrics in a campaign I'd launched. They're losing ground, I told myself, my pen tracing client list, Sarah's photo a steady anchor. They felt the tremor, but not its source. My plan gained momentum. I met investors in quiet bistros, my pitches sharp, my fund growing as I siphoned Pinnacle's credibility. Blogs buzzed with their mismanagement, my tips fueling the fire. Ethan's LinkedIn posts grew frantic, Laura's silent, but they didn't trace me. At a Boston ad conference, I saw Ethan, his grin forced, pitching to distracted clients. I lingered in the crowd, my tie crisp, unnoticed. Apex's campaign, powered by my framework, outshone Pinnacle's. My name whispered in industry circles. I didn't boast or reveal my hand. They're crumbling, I thought, my notebook heavy with plans, my desk silence a stronghold. I stood by my office chair, Boston's morning light filtering through the blinds, and felt Laura's dismissal harden in a clarity. I thought of Sarah, her trust in my work, and the decade I'd given Pinnacle. Every campaign, every late night. I didn't need Laura's regret or Ethan's panic. My mind, built to outmaneuver markets, turned their flaws, her favoritism, his incompetence, into my advantage. They think you're gone, I thought, my reflection steady in the mug's curve. You're rising. I needed only my expertise, my patience, and the silent campaign unfolding, a plan to bury their firm, not with rage, but with the precision of a strategy I'd mastered. The city's pulse quickened, and I knew my next move waited, poised to shift everything. The quiet hum of my Boston office filled the air, my leather notebook resting beside Sarah's photo, its frame glinting under a desk lamp. Laura's choice to slash my salary as Pinnacle Strategies marketing strategist for her son Ethan's role had ignited my plan. My framework, now the backbone of Apex Media, had siphoned Pinnacle's clients, its efficiency exposing their flaws. I didn't confront Laura or gloat. My anonymous leaks had fueled industry blogs, unraveling Ethan's vision, and my fund secured Apex's takeover of Pinnacle's crumbling assets. I walked into their boardroom, my tie crisp, and revealed my role as Apex's lead strategist. She dismissed you, I thought, my voice even as Laura's face froze. They didn't expect you to rewrite their fall. The moment was surgical. Mark Ellison, Apex Media, I said, my tone steady as the board stared, Ethan's eyes wide. My framework success, client wins, lean campaigns, had tanked Pinnacle stock, my leaks exposing their losses. We're integrating operations, I stated, my plan unfolding. Apex's systems, my systems, would lead. Laura stammered. Mark, you did this? I nodded, my gaze level. Strategy, I said, echoing her excuse. Colleagues who'd backed Ethan shifted, their loyalty shattered. I thought of Sarah, her pride in me, and the decade I'd given Pinnacle. They're breaking now, I told myself, my pen still, the boardroom silence heavy. They thought I'd fade. They were wrong. Pinnacle's collapse spread. Blogs lit up with Apex's takeover, my name tied to their rise. Ethan's leadership, a fading echo. My leaks, Ethan's failed campaigns, Laura's bias, drove clients to my framework. I didn't fire them. I let them stay. Their roles diminished, their confidence gone. Colleagues who'd ignored me called, didn't see this, Mark. I replied, curtly, my focus on reshaping Pinnacle's chaos, my campaigns restoring order. I saw Ethan at a meeting, his voice weak, his eyes avoiding mine. They see you now, I thought. My tie neat, my face calm, Sarah's photo a steady anchor. I stood by my office door, Boston's evening glow soft through the window, and felt Laura's dismissal dissolve into clarity. I thought of Sarah, her trust in my craft, and the years I'd poured into Pinnacle. Every pitch, every late night. I didn't need Laura's regret or Ethan's shame. My mind, honed to outsmart markets, had turned their flaws, her favoritism, his incompetence, into my leverage. They thought you were nothing, I thought, my reflection steady in the glass. You're everything. My justice was quiet, a campaign executed flawlessly, my legacy no longer theirs to erase. The city's hum softened, and I knew the final step waited, a calm reflection of the path I'd reclaimed. The soft glow of my desk lamp lit my new Boston office at Apex Media. My leather notebook closed beside Sarah's photo, its frame steady on a polished desk. Laura's decision to have my salary as Pinnacle Strategies marketing strategist for her son Ethan's role had forged my triumph. My framework, now Apex's cornerstone, had rebuilt Pinnacle's ruins, its campaigns drawing clients nationwide. Ethan's name faded, his vision irrelevant, his role a shadow. I didn't gloat or seek Laura's regret. I led, my tie crisp, my team thriving, my strategies reshaping Boston's at scene. She dismissed you, I thought, my voice calm, the office's hum a testament to my rise. I rebuilt what they try to break. Apex's success echoed. Industry summits buzz with my name, colleagues who'd backed Ethan now seeking my guidance. Mark, you turn it around. I smiled, my replies brief, my focus on new campaigns. Ethan appeared at an event, his confidence gone, his eyes dodging mine as he lingered on the fringes. I thought of Sarah, her pride at my latest win, and the decade I'd given Pinnacle. Blogs praised Apex's rise, my framework lauded, while Laura's bias and Ethan's failures faded. They're irrelevant now, I told myself, my pen resting, my office's light warm and steady. They thought I'd vanish. I rose higher. My days were full, mentoring a growing team, refining campaigns that outshone Pinnacle's old chaos. Colleagues who'd snubbed me texted apologies. Didn't see your plan, Mark. I replied shortly, my mind on Apex's growth, my framework empowering clients. Laura emailed once, her tone weak. Didn't mean to undervalue you. I left it unanswered, her words meaningless. I called Sarah, my voice even, sharing Apex's latest milestone, her pride a warmth no betrayal could dim. They see your path now, I thought. My tie neat, my face calm, my desk a map of quiet victories. I stood by my office window, Boston's evening lights glinting, and let the journey settle. Laura's dismissal, Ethan's rise, my isolation turned to strength. Their betrayal had been a fracture, but my plan, patient, precise, had rebuilt me, not for revenge, but for purpose. I didn't need their shame or applause. My mind, honed to outmaneuver markets, had turned their flaws, her favoritism, his incompetence, into my foundation. They thought you were nothing, I thought, my hand steady on my notebook. You're everything. My justice was silent, a campaign executed perfectly, my legacy etched in Apex's rise. The office's pulse softened, and I found peace, not in their fall, but in the path I'd reclaimed.